Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. Alright, so the Chinese government recently released their 18th blockchain ranking uh, index. So what they do is they check through the different blockchains we have in the blockchain space and rank them based on how fit the technology is. And this ranking has been done 18th time, right? I hope I'm correct. This is the 18th time or the 15th. No, hold on. I think it's the 18th. Yeah. All right, so whatever it is, okay, 18th, this is it right here. So EOS remains number one. EOS has been number one on this list since its launch, right? EOS has maintained number one place. Now is number two, Ethereum is number three, and Bitcoin. Where is Bitcoin? Where is Bitcoin right now? Where is Bitcoin? This is where Bitcoin is. Now, most of you might not like this ranking. Bitcoin is number 12. Now, most of you might not like this ranking, but the truth is, uh, Bitcoin is an old technology, right? It's an old technology and it can't scale. Well, at least there's nothing currently being done about Bitcoin in terms of scaling. At least Ethereum is trying to scale. The only thing Bitcoin is enjoying is first mover advantage and nothing else, right? But that's just tech for you. Tech will always evolve. Tech will always improve. So EOS is number one, Tron number two, ETH number three on this list, right? And that's good news for EOS, that's good news for Tron, and that's good news for Ethereum. Now remember, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of those who say EOS is Ethereum killer, right? Neither am I a fan of those who go around spreading false news about EOS just to make ETH or Tron look better. Hey, EOS doesn't need to die for ETH to succeed, and ETH doesn't need to die for EOS to succeed. So I've not been a fan of all that. Let's just love blockchain as it is. We can have several options. We have people today using iPhone and Samsung phones, right? You mustn't use one brand, right? So they all have its unique purpose. And of course, Cointelegraph released the same news, and guess what? They gave the credit to Bitcoin is key. Cointelegraph is well known for their, should I use the word hatred for EOS? You hardly see good news about EOS on Cointelegraph, just so you know. But I hope they change soon because credibility is something we need to uphold in this space, right? And in other news, some really groundbreaking news. Land Rover car company acknowledges historical significance of Bitcoin network, right? And this is really remarkable. Now, let me tell you what this means. In no distant time, you start seeing automobile. Of course, that started happening, but not in a very large scale. You start seeing automobile companies fixing crypto payments in their vehicles. So when you get to the toll gates, or maybe you're going for a party, you're supposed to pay before you go into the party hall or area, right? Or premises, or maybe you're supposed to pay before you pass the toll gate. Your car will be able to do that in the future, right? And it's good to see that these car companies, right, they started acknowledging the tech about Bitcoin. When all these things all started, they actually did not give attention to cryptocurrency and blockchain. They didn't. They paid no attention. But right now, 10 years later, they started saying, "Hey, this cryptocurrency, this technology is good. We might have to pay attention to it." But you see, for those of you who sold your Bitcoin or Ethereum or EOS way before now, because these big tech companies are not talking about it, you should be in trouble by now. Don't sell off. Just hold on to whatever you already have. Now, in more news, Singapore carpooling app Ride launches wallet for BTC payments. You see what I'm saying? It's already happening. Now, the problem is these guys are accepting Bitcoin. It's both a good thing and a bad thing. Now, it's good because, excuse me, it's good because they are finally recognizing the place of cryptocurrency, right, in the ecosystem. But the problem is that Bitcoin is not good for payments. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to bite me for saying that, but that's the truth. When Bitcoin gets to the point where a lot of people start using it, it starts slowing down and the fees increases, right? So the best bet for making such payments for vehicles would have been Ethereum or EOS or even Tron or even Steam. Those cryptocurrencies are super fast, right? But this is good news nonetheless, and it's good to have more use case for Bitcoin. Now, in more news, World Economic Forum suggests fighting corruption with blockchain. This is going to be the trend in the next couple of years because blockchain is transparent. Blockchain is publicly verifiable. I wrote an article about how blockchain can solve election problem. Just in case you've not read this article, I'm going to drop it in the comment section so you guys can check it out. You know, in Africa, one of the biggest challenges they have is that these corrupt guys pay their way into staying into office. But how can you solve that? By introducing blockchain, to the voting system. I wrote this article and I gave several examples on how this can be done. It can be done with Ethereum, it can be done with Tron, it can be done with EOS, right? And I had to put my picture right there. All right, so speaking of Ethereum, I saw an article on Reddit, on Cointelegraph, how Reddit was asking the Ethereum community to help scale tokens for 430 users. I did a video when I saw this news for the first time, and I was like, hey, what's going on? Of course, you guys know I'm not a hater of Ethereum, but why would you build something, your token on Ethereum, when you know Ethereum can't currently scale? It doesn't just make any sense. Now, one thing about cryptocurrency or crypto tokens right now is that you can actually port them from one blockchain to another. So if you have your token on EOS, you can actually port it to Ethereum. If you have your token on Ethereum, you can actually port it to EOS or Tron. It's actually super easy to do, right? And Reddit actually made an announcement that was from some weeks back that they're going to be building their token on Ethereum. And I was like, what in the world are you doing? If you want to build, of course, Reddit has millions of visitors every month and Ethereum cannot scale. Now, see, EOS can take 74 million transactions in 24 hours. You see? 74 million transactions in 24 hours. And EOS is not even currently using up to 15% of its capacity to carry out these 74 million operations in 24 hours. You see, which is well over 3.9 million transactions. Just in case you don't know, okay, let me explain it. In operations, we have 3.9 million transactions and 74 million operations. Just in case you don't know what that means. In a transaction, there are several transactions in it. You see? So if you send a Bitcoin transaction, what you're seeing is just one transaction. Now there's something called UTX. So I'm going to explain that to you maybe in another video. But if you send a Bitcoin transaction, that transaction isn't just that one transaction you made. There are about 2.5, I think around 2 to 3 transactions or operations that are made or that are carried out in that single Bitcoin transactions you did. So that is why we have transaction here, we have operations. So in each transactions, there are several operations in these transactions. That's just the major difference. So right now, Ethereum can't really do much more, right? Because it's slow, and that is why they are building Ethereum 2.0. So before you attack me and say I'm saying Ethereum is slow, it's actually true, and that's why they're trying to build Ethereum 2.0. Ethereum 2.0 aims to make Ethereum faster because right now Ethereum is deadly not in use. So that is why Reddit is crying out to the Ethereum community to do this. And I'm like, hey, why not just start off with EOS or Telos or Tron, and then when Ethereum is ready, you can just port over to Ethereum by the time Ethereum is ready. But that's their business. I look forward to the token, right? I haven't used it before. I don't know if it's live yet. They say that some problem about gas cost and so many other factors. Anyways, guys, that's the news I have for you this morning. Now, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video. See ya.